welcome to the Love and Saw channel. My name is Nadia, and today we are going to be making some kind of small tote bag or shopping bag. Actually, using this fabric. This is gonna be a lining, or kind of mix and match it together, and we are gonna be installing these handles. So let's see how it's gonna come out. So we are going to use this pretty flowery fabric as a main fabric. As a lining, we're gonna use this green cotton, and we're gonna need some kind of interfacing, which is, this one is pretty thick. We're gonna use this one. We need to stiffen it up because both fabrics are a little not as heavy. So we're gonna use 809 Pellon. And we are going to use, like I mentioned before, these handles. They come up with some kind of hardware, so we're gonna install it as we need it later on. We're gonna need some pins and clips and scissors and sewing machine. All right, let's cut up the pieces. Before I tell you the measurements, I have to apologize because this clip didn't download my voice audio, so I kind of have to add it on. So if the voice doesn't fit with the video, I apologize ahead. The 4 small pieces for the handles, I cut them 8 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters, which is like 3 1/4 inch by 5 inches. I fully interfaced them. All the pieces are interfaced. This part is going to be a pocket. I cut it 8 1/4 inch by 13 3/4 inch, which is like 21 centimeters by 35 centimeters. These 2 pieces are going to be inside with the lining, which are and 62 centimeters is 24.5 inches. Cut 2 green pieces of lining. It's a 62 centimeters wide, which is, like I mentioned before, 24.5 inches by 29 centimeters, which is like 11 inches. They're fully interfaced as well, 2 pieces. I used some of the pieces of interfacing I had leftovers, but which is no problem at all. I cut up the 2 main pieces. Is 62 centimeters wide, which is 24.5 inches by 44 centimeters tall, which is like 17.5 inches. They're fully interfaced, both of them. So the packet, we're gonna fold in half, and we're just gonna sew those 3 sides of the packet, and the 4th side we're gonna leave opening. Just the way we're gonna be able to open it, maybe 10 centimeters. We're gonna be able to flip it over. Then we're gonna do the handle holdings. We're gonna fold them in half, and then again just follow the pictures. Okay, so I made all 4 of these handles. We're actually gonna look like this once we put them in. Anyway, not right now. So I made 4 of those, and I made pocket. What are we gonna do now? We're just gonna cut a lot of those corners, not make it too bulky, and we're gonna flip this over. Okay, let's see. Okay, once this is over, have to push the corners all the way in. You're going to press this, a little crooked. Okay, you're going to press it, make it all straight, nice corners out. We're going to press it, and we're going to top stitch just one side, not the one where the opening is, the top of it. Once we're done with this, I'll show you later what are we going to do with the lining. We're going to take one of those pieces and one of these, the lining, we're going to put them together. I'm going to stitch with 1 centimeter, like a quarter, not even half an inch, a quarter of inch all together. Okay, so I top stitch the top of the pocket. We still have the opening here. And I put these two fabric together. What are we going to do? We're going to push it. We're going to push the seam toward the top fabric like this. We are going to find a middle, and we are going to find, which is like right here, a middle of the pocket. And what are we going to do? We are going to put it close to the line, close to the line where we sewn. What are we going to do? We're going to top stitch all these 3 sides together on the fabric. Okay, so pocket is on. The next step, we are going to do the other side of the lining. What are we going to do? Almost the same thing, actually. We sew these 2 parts together, but what are we going to do here? We're going to leave like 20 centimeters opening in the middle. That's the way we're going to flip the bag inside out. It's 20 centimeters. It's like about 8 inches or 10, whatever works for you. Okay, so I sewn these 2 fabrics together. What you're going to do again, you're going to flip it on the top, kind of pressure it on. I almost forgot to leave the opening, so it's not exactly in the middle, but doesn't matter where it is as long as the opening is there. What are we going to do now? We're going to put these 2 linings together and sew all 3 sides together, bottom and 2 sides. Okay, so I sewn all these 2 parts together, linings. But what the problem is, before you sew it in, don't make the same mistake. We have to put those handles, the preparation, those stripes for the handles. So get the handle you have, whatever size you have. Find the middle before you put them together. Find the middle of this fabric, of the lining, which is right here. According to my handles, I have to measure from the middle 6 centimeters toward each side, which is like 2.25 of inch, 6 centimeters or 2.25 of inch on each side. Make the marks. Then take these 4 stripes, put them together, measure 4 centimeters, which is about 1.5 inches. Make the mark, and we have to sew them in up to the mark on the other inside lining. So put the mark on the top line, clip them together, and sew it all 4 together with 1 centimeter, which is about a quarter, half an inch. You can do a half an inch of allowance. Do all 4 of them. So I sewn these fabric handles in. What are we going to do now? We are going to do the corners. So what are we going to do? You have to find the middle between those seams. It's kind of hard to find it, but the pins definitely help. Just be careful. All right. So I found it. And now try and flatten out a corner and measure like 13 centimeters, which is about 5 inches from side to side, and make a line. Sew it and do the same thing on the other side. So both corners are done. What are we going to do? We're just going to cut up the leftovers on the corners, straighten it up, and what we're going to do, we're going to do same thing with the main fabric. So make sure the fabric pattern is the way you want to be. It matches. And then put it together and sew 3 sides. Sides, 2 sides, and the bottom. All right, I sewn these all 3 sides together. What we're going to do now, we're going to do the same thing what we did with lining. We're going to do the corners. Again, I already tried to do it, so take a pen, poke it in right between the seams. Just find it. Make sure it's precisely on top of each other. Ow. All right. Let's see. All right. We found the middle. And we're going to do, again, we're going to make a line, which is actually, this is 5 inches, centimeters. We make a line and sew it right here and do the same thing in the other corner. Okay, corners are done. We can cut again, like the pointy leftovers of the fabrics for the fabric, and there it is. What are we going to do now? We are actually going to flip the lining inside out. Poke these corners out. All right, and we're going to put it inside the main fabric. All right, what are we going to do now? Just make sure it fits properly. Open the seams and sew it all. Put a bunch of pins around and sew it all around together. Okay, I just want to show you. I pinned this all around, and we can sew it with 2 centimeters all around, which is like 3/4 of an inch, or you can even go an inch if you like, in inches. 2 centimeters with allowance. Okay, I've sewn all around it. You can actually cut these leftovers out. A little thick, it's hard to cut it, so you can do one by one. Cut them all around it. Okay, so I cut the ends, and now we're gonna flip this back through the hole we left in the lining. So it's gonna take some time. That's okay, take your time. Okay, we flip them over. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna push the lining inside. Corners, just make sure straight. Poke them out. Okay. What are we gonna do now? We are going to put some pins all around it and top stitch like 1 centimeter all around it, like 3/4 of centimeters all around it. Okay, I top stitched all around it. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna flip this over and we're gonna close the opening, the hole we left the way we flipped it. Okay, let's do this. You can actually even use this bag on both sides. Huh, lots of variety. Anyway, okay, there is the hole. What are we gonna do? We're gonna get some pins and pin this. Okay, all around. Let's see. And we're gonna top stitch all around, actually very close to the edge, all around the back. Okay, so it's all, make sure it's open. So it's all top stitched. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna flip it back over again. Poke the corners out. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're going to measure 6.5 centimeters from the side seam toward each side. Make a mark, which is about 2.5 inches on each side. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna pinch the mark here and then pinch the corner. Put a clip here just to make sure it's equal. I do the same thing on this side. Let's find the mark. Put a clip here and find a corner. Put more pins. What are we gonna do? We're gonna sew top stitch a quarter of inch, or 3/4 centimeters, almost similar. So do the same thing on both sides. All right, I'll do all the corners, top stitch, and that's all done now. All we have to do actually is to put these handles on. That's the last thing. Let's do this now. Okay, what's left is to put those handles on. So we're gonna take this hook or whatever it's called. We're gonna put the handle right between, and we're gonna insert this little thing inside through the handle to the other end, and we're gonna use this little screwdriver, I can't even say it, and screw it in let's see if I can do it. It's kind of hard to do it with my hand, one hand. Kind of maybe use somebody else's help, but we're working on it. Yep, make it nice and tight. Let me see. Okay, one done. Gonna put this one in. Do the same way we did before. Let's see, which side is it? Okay, this side. Yep. This one hand. Let's see, where's the opening? Oh, here it is. All right. And then just screw this in again. The same way. Nice and tight. Okay, one done. I'm gonna turn this around and do the other one. All right, the other one is in too. Let's just see how it came out. Inside. All right, let's see. Okay, all set. There it is. This might be maybe a little, no, it's a good size, but maybe I might make a medium size some other time. So let's see inside. The lining, the green lining, a packet here. Nice, cute handles. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.